Wind of Change by the Scorpions. This is a cool song. All the chords are basic chords, simple straightforward chords that you should be familiar with. On my arrangement I've split it down into 4 separate parts, so 4 chord progressions that you need to learn. I'm going to cover those one at a time, and I'll have a talk about anything that perhaps we need to be aware of when we're doing them. So as always, my arrangement I will include a link for, so you can have a look at that. It's probably useful for you to have that to hand whilst you're trying to learn it. Slightly different from the original version. I've took out the main guitar solo and anything that isn't particularly easily achievable on the campfire strumming type spirit of these songs in this playlist. So we'll just have a go. I'll go through the 4 different parts of the song now. The first part is the intro. It also is used as an interlude between the first and the second verses. I've called that the whistling part. If you're familiar with the original, that's where the singer's whistling a little melody over the chords rather than singing. Now, just real quick before I get into playing it, if you've seen any of my videos before, not on this series or any other, you'll know that my singing is absolutely terrible. What you probably don't know is that my whistling is even worse than my singing. So apologies in advance, but I'll try and put some kind of noise to it to give you a reference point at the expense of my own dignity. So the first part, the whistling part, it's fairly straightforward. There's a little arpeggio at the end, but I'll talk about that after I've played it. So we'll start off with so just 8 chords there. At the end of it I talked about a little arpeggio. Basically with an arpeggio, what I mean is we're going to fret a chord and then we're going to play the notes individually rather than strumming them. If you don't want to get involved with that, feel free just to do the strumming. It'll sound absolutely fine, but the arpeggio, the notes give a little bit of flavour. When I'm playing the notes individually, it was on the last 3 chords of that section. All I was doing was strumming the chord down, and I was playing the strings 1, 2 and 3 again after the chord. So in that instance it was a D minor, A minor, then a G. So the part again all together, I'll not do the whistling again. D minor, another F, another D minor, go to A minor, then we do a D minor with a little arpeggio, A minor with the arpeggio, and then finally a G with the arpeggio. That's the introduction that starts the song off with the whistling. That occurs again after between the first verse and the second verse. It's played exactly the same. Quick point on the arpeggio, it's also used at the end of the verse lines as well. So once you've learned it once, if you want to go learn it once, you can also use it to good effect on the verse lines as well. So it's not just those 2 pieces that you can use it for. So going into the verse, all the verses are the same progression. So on my sheet, whichever verse you're playing, the same chord progression throughout. So I'm going to go for the first verse. So I'm going to come out of the introduction with that little arpeggio thing, and then I'm going to go into the first verse as it sounds. I followed the Moskva down to Gorky Park, listening to the wind of change. An August summer night, soldiers passing by, listening to the wind of change. So that's the verse part. It's the same thing that you use throughout anywhere where I've written verse on the song sheet. So again, the arpeggio, either have a go at it, or just if you don't want to have a go at it, or if it's confusing you a little bit, just play the chords. The chords fit either way because we're playing the same chord. Just as a technique point, with the arpeggios, even though we're playing individual notes, you want to be holding the chord on just the same as if you're strumming it. So for the A minor one, for example, I'm strumming an A minor, I'm holding the chord on there. Same for the arpeggio, I'm holding the chord on. I'm not trying to finger the individual notes one by one. It'll just sound unclean if you do it that way. So that's the verse part. After the first verse it goes into the whistling part again for the interlude. Then there's another verse. Another section is the chorus section. There's no arpeggios there, it's all strumming. The only thing to watch out for is a little bit of a timing thing on the end of the second line and the fourth line of the chorus. Most of it's even strumming, and you can see the changes are quite even in timing, but there's a little bit of a tweak in the timing changes, as I say, towards the end of the second and fourth lines. So I'll go from again the end of the verse into the chorus, and hopefully be able to see what I mean by that. So I'm going out of the verse. So the wind of change, take me to the magic of the moment on a glory night, where the children of tomorrow share their dreams with you and me. Take me to the magic of the moment on a glory night, where the children of tomorrow dream away in the wind of change. So on the lines where he's saying with you and me, or the wind of change, slightly different timing. Have a listen to the original. It's a lot easier if I've got a reference point for where those changes happen, but just be aware that on those particular changes, when you go from the A minor to the F and G, on each of those lines it's the same A minor to the F and G. The timing is just slightly different than what it's been for the rest of the chorus part. So those three parts are the main parts. They're repeated a few times. I think there's 3 verses and 3 or 4 choruses throughout the song. The intro, interlude bit, the whistling bit, there's only 2 of those. There's one at the start and one between the first and second verses. The final part you need to know is I've called it the bridge, or some people call it the middle 8. It's right near the end of the song before the final chorus. So at the end you've got a chorus that goes into this bridge part and then back into another chorus, and it's different from the other parts, and it only occurs once in the song. Again, the chords are simple, the progression's quite simple. There's nothing that really should trip us up. So if I come out of I'll come out of the end of the chorus before it and into the bridge. Children of tomorrow dream away with the wind of change. In the bridge, the wind of change blows straight into the face of time, like the storm wind that will ring freedom bell, peace of mind. Let your balalaika sing, my guitar wants to say. Back into the chorus. Take me to the end of the song. You can repeat the chorus a few times if you want to, if you're just doing the strum along. It doesn't really matter how many times you do it, just do what feels right for you. So there's 3 bits that are repeated. That bridge section is only used once. The arpeggio bits that we're using on the instrumental part, the whistling part and the verse part is optional. If you want to do the strumming, then it's up to you whichever way you want to do it. Final tip I'd give you is, it's not really a tip, it's probably a blessing of good luck. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do the whistling part a lot better than I can, so it'll sound a lot better when you do it than me, because my whistling is even worse than my singing. Enjoy.